Hello, listening audience. Welcome back to the Three Average Golfers podcast with your boys, Nico, Cobsy, and Drew.
Aye,
We've got
aye.
a special episode for you this
Good
week.
from you.
Real special.
Good from you.
Spice things up a bit. But, yeah, special episode this week. I'm going to do something we don't usually do. We're going to start off with a bit of golf talk. Just completely out of the blue.
Geez, you've thrown a curveball, mate.
Yep. I believe we're at the Irish Open this week.
I believe we were, mate. Yes, we were. We're at the Irish Open. DP World Tour. Big guns out. Rory was out there. Shane Lowry, Ryan Fox, Minwoo Lee, Adam Scott, Tyrrell Hatton, just to name a few of them. All actually, most pretty strong showings. A couple missed the cut. So Adam Scott, Tyrrell Hatton missed the cut, which is not great. No payday for them. Rory finished tied for 16th. Shane Lowry and Ryan Fox finished tied third, and they were two back. And Minwoo Lee finished tied seventh, and he was three back from the winner. So strongest showing from the Aussies and New Zealanders. Like Ryan Fox is a New Zealander. I've watched him at the Vic Open before. I don't think I've ever seen someone hit a ball quite as far as Ryan Fox, like live. It's kind of mental.
Didn't we play on the weekend?
We did play on the weekend, mate. Yeah.
You would have seen me hit it pretty far. Pretty fast sideways.
I think that was the key for all our rounds, wasn't it? Pretty sideways. That was a tough day. We'll get to our round in a minute. Because I'm sure you're all waiting for it. But we'll quickly race through this. Vincent Norman, who I haven't heard of before. I don't think either of you boys have either. He's now a two-time winner on the tour. He won 14 under. Ahead of Hurley Long and Grant Forrest.
Hurley Long.
Yep, that's right. So, yeah. Can't say I watched a lot of this one. But they're sort of all heading over there now because it'll start getting pretty tight for the race to Dubai. That'll be over the next few weeks.
But a very nice place to play golf.
Oh, isn't it? Isn't it ever? How did our round go this week, boys?
Our round, pretty rough.
We can lead off.
Yeah, all right. Put my hand up. I did not break 100 this weekend. Nice gentleman's 104. Yeah, you don't like to see it, but it happens. Still, Still room for improvement on that game, I think.
I'm gonna put it down to the missing driver.
That didn't help. Didn't help topping the 3-wood off the tee for the first 5 holes.
Yeah, it was at least first 4 or 5 holes. There wasn't a ball in the air.
And then a couple moments where it was just like, oh, let's not talk to Drury for a minute.
Leave him alone. Leave him in his cart over there. If he comes to the next hole, well, if he doesn't, we get it. But, tough round.
I ended up shooting 91 with a little 3 or 4 hole stretch of just complete bonkers from myself. A little bit
probably did.
A little bit crazy.
Crazy, man.
The attention span just wasn't there on Sunday.
You played 15 solid holes, though. You played 15 really solid holes of golf.
Yeah, I just need to hone in the attention span.
It happens.
Maybe a few more snacks.
You definitely played the best of the three of us, though. Like, comfortably. Comfortably the most consistent, I'd say.
I'm going to put it down to the new irons.
Absolutely.
Always handy.
I didn't play overly well. I shot 86. Trying a couple of new things in the swing. I had a lesson with Dan from Ballarat Golf Club, on Tuesday, and we worked on a fundamental new movement in my golf swing that I know Drew especially saw pretty early on. Not a drastic change, but a definite change in my swing. Probably going a little too slow with it. You can definitely see that I'm thinking about my swing. I'm getting a bit too slow. So hopefully, it just takes a little bit of grinding time to get it a bit more free flowing. Because it's looking a bit like I'm thinking a little too hard. But when it works, it's exactly what I'm wanting to do. Like it looks.
When it worked, it was beautiful to watch.
Yeah, it felt good. There was just my normal miss, which is a pull left, has turned into like a hook. They still go left. It's now hooking as opposed to me just pulling it off the face. But that's all we did. We worked on straightening up the face. I was coming I think it was a little bit out to in. So we've got the angle of attack a lot better. It's just
it was a good round to do it because we didn't film too much. Filmed a few little skits which people will see on TikTok and Instagram.
Yes,
is over on those.
It was a needed round, I think, of just a little bit less cameras, a little bit more just working on things, grooving on things.
Someone didn't have to worry about his little explosions he was having. You, Drew.
And who might that
be? I think you were thinking it was me. I didn't have any brain explosions.
No.
No. She was a tough round, that one.
The angry words. Bit of weeding did you in, mate?
Bit of weeding did the hamstrings in.
Have you ever heard of bending the
I can't believe rocked up. Let's just go through it. Let's go. So rocked up just before tea time on Sunday.
I think about 4 minutes.
4 minutes before tea time. Turned out went to wrong golf club.
All right. I'll give you the rundown of my morning.
Yes, please do.
So I went. Hang on. I went for my morning coffee. The place was closed, so I was already off to a rocky start. So I drove another hour and a half without coffee in my system, which is never good. Got about 5 minutes out from Lewis Golf Club before I realised we're playing at Clifton Springs today. Pulled over, rerouted, got back on the road. Lucky it was only 10, 12 minutes up the road. And I'm driving along, following the instructions. And I've come to the middle of the road and it says you've arrived at your destination. And I'm looking around. This isn't a golf course. This is housing. I pull over again, reroute it, eventually get there. No warm-up, stiff as a board. Proceed to top my first 3-wood off the tee. And then from there...
Grumpy Drew entered the chat.
Yeah, it was Grumpy Drew from beginning.
To the end.
What I can't understand is you were the one that booked the round in.
To be fair,
you booked the round in at that golf club and then went to the wrong golf club.
The best part, I was mapping it the night before to see how long it would take. And I was mapping Kerr Lewis. It didn't just happen in the morning. It was a process to get me there.
Oh dear.
You're just so lucky they were in the same area.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of,
I'm not coming.
I have done it. It was about 2 years ago. Playing cricket, and didn't pay. I was only filling in for the fourths, and didn't pay attention. Just assumed it was a home game in Darley. Rock up to Darley, and third grade's there, and they're all looking at me like, "What are you doing here, mate? Like, you get picked to play third grade." I'm like, "Wait, what?" They're like, "No, you're playing in Ballarat." So I get there like late anyway because I'm like, I'm not warming up. I'm playing fourth grade cricket. I'm just going to rock up, and I proceed to get there 45 minutes after the game starts.
I hope you were batting.
We were batting.
Oh, that's all right then.
As punishment, had to come in at 11.
They
were like, "No, you're not coming in there." It's like, "No, you sit at 11." Oh, fair enough. But
I remember your old man did it, Nick, when we played Bacchus Marsh.
Oh, yeah, and pretended to try and blame me.
I think you went to Melton.
He's like, you told me it was Melton. I was like, no, don't think I did.
No, I didn't.
That's funny.
Mm.
Boys. The
I think
joys.
you have to leave 20 minutes earlier next time, Drewy, just to deal with your own shenanigans.
Well, that's the thing. I would have been 20 minutes early had we been playing at Kerr Lewis.
Oh, so you'd planned it in there. So you
But
would have been there when we got there.
I would have been there bright and early. I would have had a nice warm up. Wouldn't have
You would have
played like
broke-
trash.
You
Would have broken
100.
90. I would have been asking about the course record at the front desk.
But no.
Oh, brilliant.
But no. Yeah, bit of a blowout, that one. Much like my hamstrings.
Have you ever heard of bending your knees?
Well, then my knees hurt. So it's like a lose-lose.
I can just imagine him straight-legged, just bending straight.
Yeah.
Completely straight-legged.
You're going to get you a little cushion to kneel on in the garden.
That's the thing. I have one of those, like the little foam knee board.
Oh, and you didn't. You're not
But
helping yourself.
No, it had been a bit wet. I would have sunk. Wait, that's not.
You don't weigh that much. What are you talking about?
Well, I'll put on a few.
Oh, yeah.
But it's,
You'd be close to the lightest in the group. You and Cobb would be the same bloody weight.
I think I'm 86, 88 now.
You'd be the lightest, I think.
I'm not telling you how much I weigh. Put it this way: it don't start with two figures. Oh.
One of them ones. Right. I think that's
Ah,
enough of our golf
yes.
chat.
That's enough golf chat.
Erase the memory, mate.
So erased.
Gone.
Consider it erased.
Well, the good thing is we didn't film it, so there's not even like a flashback of like how bad. Well, you didn't play it that badly, to be honest. It was just you couldn't get off a tee box. Oh,
and then I did get off the tee box, and I absolutely piped it. I piped those 3 woods up the middle.
Oh, didn't you? Some of the 3 woods you hit to, yeah.
And then it was just the net shots that were just like, oh.
Yeah, pretty much.
The direction of your chipper. The direction of your chipper just has a mind of its own sometimes.
I haven't really got that off the ground either for a while. So no. I don't know how that happens.
More concerning is that you just still have a chipper.
Well, did you see me play on the weekend? I need anything I can get.
I do remember you nearly imagine me on the weekend.
Oh yeah, that was a good time. That was with the 60.
It's just like the look on your face is you turn back and you go, oh, whoops.
Oh, my bad. That was with the 60. But imagine if I played the whole round with the 60. We'd be talking 140.
We need to get you on a practice range and just grind.
I do. I do need to get back to the driving range.
Grind.
That's the goal for the week, Drew. We get out there, mate.
Get out there. Yep, maybe.
Hamstrings are blown. You can't.
And stand there and putt.
Well, I mean, that's better than...
Maybe do that.
Maybe do that. Yeah, that's not the worst idea either.
Let's talk a bit of tennis, boys. We've just wrapped up the US Open, in which, surprise, surprise, Novak Djokovic done it again. Grand Slam number 24. No, it's hard to believe that a 36-year-old man has just taken his 24th Grand Slam title. And back to world number 1.
Man.
Just incredible.
Bad
not
man.
much bad man. Not much more to say there. I mean, he's back to world number 1 for 390 odd weeks now. 36 years old, won 3 of the 4 slams this year. In the final of the other one, could very well have won that too. So just a complete domination, really.
Is he
what?
You go, mate. You go.
Nicholas. Nah, you can go.
Oh, no, you go. It's okay, mate.
At what point do you think he retires? At what age?
He did get asked that, and he said when the young ones start beating him.
Oh, so he's
early
never
on
going to
in
retire.
tournaments. Pretty much,
He's never
yeah.
going to retire.
I read a cheeky thing before that he's prepping for the 2028 Olympic Games.
That's a lot.
So that
So
would
he'd
be,
be like
what,
40?
41, 42?
Yeah.
What
Wow.
Federer play to?
Well, he was 41 when he officially retired, I think, but
He
he
stopped
didn't really
playing
play
for-
the last
Yeah.
year and a bit. Yeah. I'd say 40.
Because he looks as good now, doesn't he, as he's ever looked, Djokovic-wise. Like, has any part of his game at all fallen off?
I'd say it's gotten better. Everything's gotten better and more efficient. He might not be as quick as he used to be. Maybe just half a foot, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'd say everything else has just gotten better to accommodate his age, really.
That's
The
nuts.
recovery
So-
and stuff like that now is a lot better as well.
It is, yeah. Come a
So you
long
can-
way.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
diets and everything in it. It's like they look after their body's their temple, as so to speak. Like they just treat it longevity wise in sports becomes such an easier thing to do now, to a degree, just with
Mm.
the way everything is.
Know what I reckon it is? I don't reckon they do their own weeding. I reckon they probably have gardeners.
I would
Just,
say
just a
so.
thought.
We
Just
did
a
whisper
thought.
that to you. We did whisper that maybe Gardner next time, big fella.
Pay the younger brother
And-
$100. He'll do it.
He might just.
For $100, absolutely.
Converse.
Let him tell him he can do mine for 100.
I'll let him know. You'll start a
Yeah.
business.
Yeah, done.
You can buy what? You can buy like a Jim's mowing franchise, can't you? If that's a thing.
Oh yeah, I would have thought so. Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
I think they're a little bit to like buy into, but like, yeah, once you got it going,
The 3 average golfer's personal gardener.
That's what we need.
exactly.
Is that what you got
and
for the
then-
tennis, mate?
No. In the women's,
Yep.
19-year-old Coco Gauff won her first Grand Slam.
Ah,
So congrats
Coco.
to her.
Yes.
Incredible come from behind win, actually. She was struggling early. And
Surely,
yeah, 19.
Surely her nickname is Pops.
I don't know. I'm just.
Do you get it?
I don't think you got it.
I don't think
It
you
was a
got
bit
it.
muffled, so I don't.
You said
I
Pops.
said,
think I actually-
surely her nickname is Pops.
Like the Cocoa Pop. Yeah, I get it.
Yes, Drew, like the Cocoa
cereal.
Pop.
Yeah. It's a bit of fun wordplay for our audience.
Jeez, that's that trying to draw blood from a stone. That was.
Yeah.
It did cut out a bit. That's my excuse. But yep. In the women's, new world number one, Sabalenka. So she'll go to world number one as of tomorrow, I believe.
Is that who was it? Was she in the
So
final? Against?
she was in the final.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. So also congrats to her. And that's the wide, wonderful world of tennis.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Right, what we do have is a little friendly from the Socceroos they played. I believe it was Sunday afternoon, our time. Played against the Mexicans. They actually played it in Texas, which was interesting. And it was on an AstroTurf pitch, which is
Wait, what?
yeah, they played on AstroTurf. It looked gross on TV. It was like all little squares and stuff everywhere. It looked gross, and I don't think it would be very nice to play on. But
No one's
managed
slide
to-
tackling.
no, but it was a little 2-2 draw, which is a good result for the Socceroos against Mexico. Not sure if Mexico put in a full strength side or not, but to get a result like that, that's not bad. Harry Suter, big, tall. I think he's over 2 meters tall. Surprise, scored a header.
Yeah.
And then Martin Boyle, in the 63rd minute, scored a penalty. And then Mexico scored twice to get the draw. But not a bad result. from the Socceroos.
Take it. Take it.
Absolutely. It was just a little friendly. There's friendlies everywhere happening.
How
What
often
else
do they
did I
play
watch on
friendlies? Is that an often thing? Not
more
really
closer
across the soccer
to
world that much. So
tournaments
yeah,
they do. Or just like tune-ups.
yeah,
There's not really that many. I think maybe more European teams might do it a bit more because then they've got obviously a lot more tournaments than what Australia does.
yeah. True. Because what we
But
played that Asia Cup. Is that it? The
yeah,
Asia Cup and then the World Cup, if we can qualify.
pretty much.
Yeah.
And I think we've been invited to play the Copa America, which is like Argentina, Brazil, and Ecuador, teams like that. I don't know why we're involved, but
Interesting.
not sure if we're going to keep playing in that. But I know we were invited to them when it was COVID times, I think.
Yeah.
It got cancelled. But yeah, had a bit of AFLW on the weekend.
Yeah.
Can't say I watched too much, but I did stay up to date with the scores and a bit of the stats throughout the weekend. So I'll just rattle them off for you fellas. We had Drew's girls Richmond against Adelaide, and Adelaide got the job done quite easily, 41-12. Monique Conti for Richmond was pretty good for a struggling side. It was 29 touches and a goal.
Solid day, yeah.
Caitlin Gould for Adelaide had 3 goals. That's not a bad little day out. Gold Coast, they nearly cracked the 3 figures, 99 to West Coast 26. So it was just an absolute smashing over there. For Gold Coast, Jamie Stanton kicked 6 goals too, and Tara Hahana is how I'm going to say her name, was 4 goals too. So pretty accurate, those girls. And for West Coast and a struggling side, Keely Gibson kicked three goals, which you'd be pretty happy with yourself, but not as a team, obviously. Port Adelaide hosted the Lions. Port was 26, the Lions 76. So it was pretty funny to have the girls playing the exact same game as the guys. And it was the same result in both.
Yeah, it looks like it.
For the Lions, Ali Anderson had 36 touches and Dakota Davidson kicked 4 goals. Port, Angela Foley had 1 goal and 15 touches, which looked like the only real shining light for Port Adelaide.
They've got that Erin Phillips, don't they?
Yeah.
I think we went through this last week. They've got that. Yeah.
She's made the switch over.
Yeah.
These two sides look like the sides to beat, Swans and Geelong. Swans were 41 and Geelong was 68. I'll certainly be keeping an eye on Geelong for the flag, I think. They're my pick. Geelong, Chloe Shear kicked 5 goals straight.
Did I?
And then, for Sydney, Laura Gardner had 27 touches, which is good in a game like that. At Ballarat, the Bulldogs played Hawthorn. Nick will be very pleased to know that Hawthorn won 46-39. Would have been very windy out there, I'd assume.
Oh yeah, tough ground. Tough ground to play footy at. Very tough ground.
Absolutely. For the Dogs, Isabel Pritchard had 26 touches. And for the Hawks, Tilly Lucas, Rod had 1 goal and 21 touches. So not a bad little day out there. I'd certainly be happy with it. Next we had Collingwood 46 defeated Freo 75. Freo had Kira Bowers with 23 touches, which I think she does most weeks, to be honest. She's always up there in the stat lines. And then for Collingwood, Aisling Sheridan was their best, I thought. Sadly, Carlton got just dispatched by the Roos.
Reckon.
It was 66-6, so it's a rough day. Rough day for the Blues.
Very.
And Jazzy Gardner had a massive day out, 36 touches and a goal.
Oof.
So
that's a big day. Big day out.
tore Carlton to shreds. And then the only real shining light was Mimi Hill for Carlton, who had 31 touches, which I'm assuming she might be a defender.
A back pocket.
I am trying to get myself more across the AFLW. I just run out of time on the weekends to try and watch everything.
Yeah, that's it.
Essendon defeated St Kilda 40-28. And the chick that's always been talked about, Maddie Prasparkas, 29 touches. She's been killing it for a long time now. And Saints Jamie Lambert had 1 goal and 26 touches. And then another game that did get close to the triple digits was GWS 22 to Melbourne 99.
Ooh.
Katie Hawar from Melbourne kicked 5 goals and had 23 touches, which is
That's a big day.
certainly not a bad.
That's
not a bad day.
Big day.
And then Nicole Barr for GWS had 24 touches. So it's good to see the girls having a crack, putting up some big numbers, which is good to see.
All right, boys, it's that time of the week. AFL. Let's talk AFL. All things footy. Big week this week. That's the one. First week
Footy.
First week of finals. So we had a couple of qualifying finals and a few elimination finals. But first up, we had Collingwood and Melbourne at the MCG Thursday night, which was a pretty good game, actually.
In front of a crowd of 92,636 people.
Thank you, sir. Always rely on you for that.
Sir.
So the only real difference between the two teams here, apart from Collingwood's really good pressure, was Melbourne just wasted their chances in front of goal.
Yeah.
So it was as simple as that. That was where the game was decided. They just could not kick a set shot, which absolutely destroys you in a final like that.
That Bailey Fridge kick from 40 out is just like he's nearly missed it. It was in the last quarter too. Like he nearly missed the footy.
I think from what I watched of the last quarter, I didn't watch the whole game, but I switched on for the last quarter. I believe there was 3 out of bounds on the full.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
All in a very short space of time. So you can't win doing that.
No, they did make the late charge though, and you're right, that kicking doesn't get you over the line, especially when you're coming from behind.
They had more scoring shots, so.
Well, how's this for a stat? So inside 50s, 69-37.
Yeah.
Wow.
Domination.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they just could not use them. I don't know how often that happens. I'm not a big stat guy, but that's 69-37 and you lose the game. I can't imagine that happens too often.
Well, they were never in front. They led not a single second of the game. And they had double the inside 50s.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Shows how good Collingwood's defense is going. Like that's nuts. From what I did see, the game plan of Melbourne was stupid for the defense that Collingwood has. The tall timber they have back there, and it was like, let's bomb it in.
I have said this. I remember saying it on a prior podcast that Christian Petrarca, great footballer. They a bull out of a gate. They just get the football, they burst through, and then they just try and kick the leather off the footy. Like there's no same with Clayton Oliver. Like there's no thought process. There's no it happens every time. I see it happen way too often. Too often.
Had a lot of meters gained, Clayton Oliver. 742.
Yep. And he was the leading possession getter on the ground as well with 31.
Not
but
bad.
I wouldn't say he was best on ground. I mean, Christian Petrarca, he had 29. I think he had a bit more influence when the game was on the line. Obviously, not too much influence, or they would have won. But
my best on's Bobby Hill. Like the impact that Bobby Hill actually had on the game, especially early to set the game up for Collingwood with that far. Like that first half, I remember saying to you, Cobb, that first half was, it was like, oh wow, that's the team that's going to win the premiership. Like, who's going to beat Collingwood when they play like this? Like, just
and he was
lightning ball movement and
was everywhere.
Yep, 3 goals for Bobby Hill as well, so not bad day at all.
Nick, eight turnovers for Petrarca.
Yeah. Eight turnovers, 29. Disposal efficiency is only 66%. Like,
I mean, it's not the worst, but it's not the best. I see what you're saying.
If finals, 66%, if that was a bad game, that's where he's struggling. But that's not. Like, he averages, like his actual average over the course of the year would be, there you go. His average for the entire year. So of the 24 games, his kicking efficiency is 55%. So every second kick he takes is ineffective.
Yep.
Like his disposal efficiency is 67%. So that's it. That's his game. Like that's what he does.
Yep.
It's to me, it's not good enough. Like it can't be. They don't have that. They lack polish. Melbourne lack real, genuine polish in their midfield. They're bulls. Don't get me wrong. Clayton Oliver is a bull. Christian Petrarca is a bull. But yeah, you just need someone that's like, I'm trying to think of.
Like what Sam Mitchell used to be.
Yeah, like you've got Luke Hodge, he was a bull, and he got, and Brad Sewell, they got the ball out and they just kick long if they got, and then you've got just a general. Like they don't have a general in their midfield that just scans the field when he gets the ball and makes the right call all the time. The amount of munt punts that Christian Petrarca kicks is ridiculous. Like,
would that have been Brayshaw?
Yes. That is your closest. That is your closest. Is Brayshaw.
Now that we
here's another one.
Brayshaw.
We'll get to Brayshaw, but just to prove, as it is just to talk about Melbourne's midfield. Clayton Oliver, averages 30 disposals a game. His average disposal efficiency is 67%. His kicking efficiency is 52% for the year. Like, they're your two main ball winners. So if your two main ball winners, every second time they get the football, they waste it. Like, you just aren't against teams that are red hot and in form. You're not going to be able to compete against. And good defenses. As soon as you get a good defense like Collingwood, they just pick you apart.
Yep.
Those long balls are just way too easy.
That's right.
So how many weeks does Maynard get?
I mean, that's why we're all here.
Zero. Yep.
It's a footy act.
There has to be things known as footy incidents. Inevitably, we play a contact sport where people get hurt. And it's just the way footy is. There was absolutely no malice in it whatsoever. He's competed to smother the ball.
See, I'm in agreement until a certain point.
Yeah.
To when he tucks his shoulder in.
But again, I understand that. But so if he doesn't tuck his shoulder in, what does he do? He then barrel
I think he should just go, give away a free kick here and just put the arms up and just jump on top of him. Like, obviously, it's a split-second decision.
That might not change the outcome. Because in the end, his chest is still going to make contact to Brayshaw's head.
Chest is better than shoulder, though.
Yeah, I understand that. But then, so you've landed on his chest and then you're going to squish him on the ground with your chest.
That's all right. Squish is better than a KO.
My opinion is you've got it, but then you're taking away the element of protecting yourself. If you don't, that's all that was. It was a turn of the shoulder to protect yourself. There was no malice in it.
I certainly don't think the 3 weeks he's been given is right. I would certainly be giving maybe 1 just for the tucking of the shoulder, but I wouldn't be going 3.
It's a bit
Like
excessive.
if he's to miss a grand final because of that, it's pretty stiff.
It is, but for him to miss a prelim and then Collingwood go down by 5 points, like, you know what I mean? Like, he should.
Yeah, love to see it.
I mean, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. We don't like Collingwood. No one likes Collingwood. I understand that. But it's just got to be such things as footy incidents. I understand, and it is horrible that Angus Brayshaw has been concussed, and from all reports, he's actually not traveling all that well either. So obviously, fingers crossed that he does come through the other side and can get back to playing football at some point.
Are Collingwood challenging it?
Absolutely. Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Well, from what I heard, Michael Christensen, the MRO, cleared it. The AFL boss, or there, I can't remember her name. She's not the AFL boss, but she's the next one down, I think. She's come in, which you're allowed to do, and has called it careless conduct, high impact, 3 weeks.
Right.
So my opinion is, right, you need to, if you're going to, you wanted to change the sling tackle. You wanted to change dangerous tackles. So you showed the players what they can do and what they can't do with dangerous tackles. You can't have a second movement. It's as simple as that. No second movement. What is Braden Maynard supposed to do differently in that situation without not going for the ball? Because that's the last thing you want people to do, is to go, oh, I can't jump for that footy, so I've just got to let it happen. So you got to remember, Angus Brayshaw is running full tilt and Braden Maynard's running full tilt.
Yeah.
They are both running, sprinting with the ball. You can't, especially in a final, you can't expect Braden Maynard to just not distract and contest. Like, mate, it's footy 101. It's what you learn when you're 6 years old, 7 years old. Like,
I've just read a little bit of an article that I saw this morning. Tom Lynch did almost the same thing earlier in the year, knocked out Alex Keith and got off. So
there you go.
would be
so there's precedence.
leaning on that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's precedence.
But we
feel like
shall see.
The AFL couldn't just sweep it through. You know what I mean? Like, they couldn't just be like, nah, it's all sweet, you're all good. Because, yeah, I get it. There's someone who's been completely and utterly knocked out on the ground. Like,
do you think if it wasn't like a big player like Brayshaw, that there would be this much fuss?
I think it's more a case, not so much Brayshaw, but Braden Maynard, because of the way he plays. He plays right on that teetering edge of borderline taking it too far. Like, there aren't too many footballers that play harder than him in the league. No. If it had have been Darcy Moore or something, that I think then it'd be spoken about in a different light, as opposed to Braden Maynard, is my opinion.
It's the same if like Toby Green did it.
Yep, there's that's absolutely right, and they look at it differently. It's like Jack Ginnivan with
dropping his knees.
Dropping his knees, yeah, it's a mental blank. Yeah. They went from like getting it to like that kid was getting his head ripped off for like 8 weeks. Like, I understand there was a little bit, but everybody does it now. Like, that's part of the game. Like,
yep, unfortunately it is.
Yeah. Overall,
we'll be very curious to see.
I think he gets off.
You think you'd have to? You'd have to. All right, let's put the lid back on that one and take the lid off the Blue Baggers.
Rip it off.
Rip it off.
What a win, eh? That's good from them. It got a bit close.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to go to this game. First final that I've watched as a Carlton supporter in person. Myself and 92,025 others.
Good from you.
But the atmosphere there was crazy. There's plenty of smell of cologne in the air. But it was a good game.
That's an unreal win. Thinking, well, Harry Mackay missed 2 from a goal square, then gets.
Yep.
Was it a concussion?
Yeah, I think so.
It was a concussion. Then get concussed, and Harry Mackay, and then Charlie Curnow kicks 1, and you still win. Because that'd be that would have been Sydney's plan. If we can keep those 2 to under 3 or 4 goals, we're every chance.
My player of the game was Mitch Robinson's little protege, Matty Cottrell. He was unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was just setting the tone everywhere, which you love to see.
Sam Walsh got a bit of the ball, 28 touches. No scoreboard impact though.
It's pretty typical.
He was everywhere. Yeah. We had 9 individual goal kickers, Carlton. So good to see when Charlie was getting worked over that people could stand up. Jackie Martin had a good game. He was everywhere, but don't think we see him next week.
Or the week after if you get through.
Yeah. It was a bit silly from him. He's very prone to doing dumb things like that.
Same with that, actually, back in the Melbourne game. Do you reckon that Van Rooyen gets a week or 2? Is he got a week
1
or
week.
2? You got a week?
I think he has to get a
week.
There's one angle where it doesn't look like anything, and then there's one that's just
one angle where it looks like he's elbowed him in the head.
Yeah, it looks like UFC move.
Yeah.
But,
no, he won't get off that. I don't think. I think he's
I think
he'll face at least.
Him and Martin, I think, gone.
Yeah, as soon as you go past the footy and make contact to the head, it's game over. No matter what you do. It's just like, if you don't have intent for the footy and collect with the head, then...
Yeah. Who did play very well for Sydney was Errol Goulden. He was everywhere. And every time he got the ball, I'm just, oh, no. Get it off him. Get it off him.
Yeah, he's a star.
Yeah.
But
there was certainly a lot of sweaty supporters in that last quarter.
Oh, yeah. Another one, the Lizard, Nick Blakey, after copying that whack, played. He had 2 turnovers for the game. That was it. Went at 91% disposal efficiency. And it wasn't till the last kick he kicked with like maybe 90 seconds to go. And there was like Carlton had flooded I think there was something like 19 men or 20 men in the 50. It was the only time he didn't hit a target the entire game.
Yeah, pretty hard to hit a target.
It was that kick there. They were saying on the commentary. It was like, it's the only kick for the day where he didn't hit a target, where he didn't hit a Sydney player. Unreal.
That's a great day out.
I tell you what, though, you gave him every chance to beat us, didn't you?
Absolutely. If they kick straight, we were in big trouble.
Oh,
it's a trend, isn't it? Just crappy goal kicking.
9 goals, games. 14 isn't going to win you many games.
No, that's not on. I suppose it's that finals pressure, isn't it? Right.
Yeah.
Oh, every time you got the footy, instead of there being 1 bloke around you, there's 3. It's unreal how and it is, especially if you've played in finals, personally, in country footy, it's just a genuine different, it's a completely different game to any other game you play for the year. Just nuts. And everyone finds another gear. You yourself find another gear.
Yeah. Anyone at halftime would have thought this game was just buried. Sydney had 2 goals for the first half.
I thought I was right in my prediction last week. I thought, because I genuinely thought you boys were just going to walk over the top of them.
Yeah, and then I think Carlton just left their foot off the pedal and let them creep back in. But we kicked 1 goal for the last quarter.
Yeah.
very lucky that we ended up getting up, but it's good to see more finals wins than Essendon. So in the last 2 years,
I'll tell you what, one bloke seriously impressed me, and I can't say I've watched too much of his footy, and then found out from Cobsy that he basically did. He was playing with one arm the entire game. Is Blake Acres. Some of the efforts in the last quarter that Blake Acres did was just absolutely unreal. Like
wasn't
kicking
even
out of a
supposed to be
pack
playing.
into the middle, about 3 or 4 minutes to go, into just open space to just get it out there. 2 Sydney blokes coming back, and the first bloke, Carlton bloke that gets there that lays the tackle is Blake Acres, the bloke who kicked the footy. Like kicked the footy and just took off. And like every time you saw him, he had one arm dangling near his because been jabbed up before the start of the game, and obviously that had worn off, but just showed real heart. Yeah. All that whole last quarter, like just felt like he was everywhere in that last, like just unreal.
Yeah, and then that goal that he kicked to sort of seal it was actually the same end that Jeff Garlick kicked the goal against Richmond a few years ago. So a nice little.
Did you need to bring that up? Was that necessary? It was 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's rubbish when you make the 8 and get knocked out by 9th, but oh
well. That's still so funny.
I'm going to leave that one alone. I think our results speak for themselves. But there's a big sound, boys, from the west of the town.
There is.
The Orange Team!
Yeah, up the Orange Team.
Someone had to say it. Yeah. Yes, so the Giants got the job done over the Saints. And I really don't know where the Saints sit at the moment. Like,
out of finals is where they sit.
Well, yeah, but how close are they to a premiership? Like, obviously they made finals, but
they will finish lower next year if they're smart. Right. Or no, actually, I take that back. If they don't make hard decisions, they'll finish exactly where they finished this year, and they'll do exactly the same thing they did this year next year.
Yeah, they need to do a little.
They're good enough to be a top 8 team, but they're not good enough to beat good top 8 teams.
Unless they play at Marvel.
Unless they play at Marvel, but it's obviously clear that they don't want to host a final at Marvel. So,
well, there was only 68,000 at the G, so.
My opinion is you've got Jack Steele, you've got Brad Crouch. They're exactly the same footballer. You've got Seb Ross. Like, you've got to make a call, a hard call on players and get speed through their midfield. Or do you just bring in Jack Sinclair off halfback and just shove him in the guts?
Oh, well, they plan on bringing in Paddy Dow, I think.
Well, and Liam Henry now. So Hawthorn were looking good to get him, and now Henry's come out and actually preferred to go to St Kilda. So, but again, they've got to give something up to get him. So
it'd be interesting to see who they go for, because they need to train something down, and they need another forward.
Yeah,
Maxi King can't do it all.
Yeah, exactly. Fingers crossed. Tim Membry's all good as well. Had a don't know much of the details, but pulled out late with some so-called some mental health problems. They haven't really clarified too much into what has happened, but yeah, fingers crossed he's
you don't like to see that
getting the help he needs, and people around him and supporting him, and we'll hopefully, fingers crossed, we see him back out on the park next year. So
absolutely
never good to hear. But in saying that, you are also right. They need a second tall timber up there with Max King to sort of just shore it up a bit.
How long have they got Dan Butler for?
I couldn't tell you.
He'd be coming up for renewal soon, I think.
Do you reckon he gets renewed?
Yes. Yeah, they love him.
Yep.
Goes missing a lot, I find.
He does, but he does enough. He does the little things.
Mm.
Like he had five tackles, five forward half tackles. That's all you ask for from a small forward. You're not asking him to hit the scoreboard. That's what Jack Higgins is for. You're asking him to chase, put pressure on. But I get what you mean. He does. Like he can. You feel like he's one of those players that when you're playing well, he's playing well, and then when you're playing badly, he's absolutely know it. Which is a byproduct of obviously how you're playing, but he's certainly not someone you're looking to lifting wise.
No, certainly not.
How good's Tom Green?
Absolute superstar.
Yeah, he's such a bull.
Yeah. Quite
So-
enjoy how he goes about it.
Yes, 35 touches for him. But Jack Steele had 38 in a
Not bad
losing
for a
side.
final.
So,
Yeah, captain's not.
yep. And then the final game of the weekend, we had Brisbane being way too strong for Port Adelaide. And I think that was going to be pretty obvious from the get-go playing that at the Gabba.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to really be going up and playing up there.
Collingwood,
Not at the
Brisbane.
moment.
Collingwood, Brisbane, Granny.
Yeah, I can't really see anyone else.
No one's beaten Brizzy up there.
No.
Didn't matter. So, like, if that's why I said with the Collingwood Melbourne, whoever wins that will go to the Granny. Because whoever has to slide across the draw ain't getting through Brizzy up there. I'm obviously saying that I'm assuming that Melbourne are going to beat Carlton, which you don't know. But yeah, it could be any one of the other 8 teams. They're not beating Brisbane up there. They're just not.
No.
If
It was
anyone's-
only in front of a crowd of 36,000, so 6,000 off capacity. And it's still just bang.
That's the thing, like, up there, because you've got rugby finals on too.
Yeah.
So it's they're a rugby first state.
Yeah. If anyone's going to beat them though up there, I'd be putting money on Melbourne.
You reckon?
I think they've got a pretty good head-to-head recently against Brisbane. So
I certainly
be
think
where
Brisbane will be hoping that they'll be playing Carlton, but I honestly can't see that happening. So
lost the faith. What happened to baggers of flaggers?
when did I ever have faith?
Oh, fair.
Yeah, it's very fair.
Fair.
Those pessimistic Carlton supporter you'll meet.
Very fair. Very fair. Joey Danaher, 5 goals, 1. Jeez. When he kicked straight. Yeah.
Well, they kicked 19 goals, 9.
And they're
Hell, that.
typically an inaccurate team, Brisbane. They're known for inaccuracy.
But yeah, 19 goals. That usually wins you a game of footy. So
yeah, normal.
Good on them. 3 to a prelim. And that's all the AFL we've got for you this weekend. Bit of NRL action over the weekend as well, boys. Now, I'll put my hand up and say I don't know anything about what's going on here.
Would you like me to take over, mate?
I would love for you to take over. I mean, I can try, but we'll probably lose viewers.
All right. Well, I unfortunately suffered my way through Friday night, the Storm v the Broncos, and it was the worst performance I've seen a Melbourne Storm put out in. I couldn't even tell you, like, going back to like the Manly flogging 10 years ago in the granny. Like, it was just so absolutely terribly poor. Like, our spine was completely disconnected. Didn't look like we had any real game plan to try and. It was just like we were just passing sideways. Like sideways. There was no shape. It was just sideways. Like, Our forwards had absolutely no impact whatsoever. Like, admittedly, like the Broncos forward pack are beasts, like absolute beasts. Just to put it into context, Paddy Carrigan had 193 run meters, and for those who don't know, they're called PCMs, post-contact meters. So it's basically once they've hit the tackle, it's then how many meters throughout the game they get past the tackle with people holding on to them. And he had 90, what was it? Sorry. He had 85 post-contact meters where he was just driving our line backwards.
Yeah, it's a big day.
And the same with Payne Haas. Payne Haas had 180 meters for 77 post-contact. Like, we just couldn't stop them. And then we'd hit them and it'd like hit a brick wall.
Yeah.
So, no. I mean, no, don't discredit what the Broncos did. The Broncos were a far better team. Like, they looked a lot better, like a lot better than us. And a lot of people have been saying it's a 2-horse race for most of the year anyway, the Broncos and the Panthers. So, and they showed it. Like, they were just so quick with their ball movement. Their shape was awesome. Like Reece Walsh, just like you have to commit to him. You always have to commit inside to him, because if you don't, he just takes that 2 or 3 steps and he's around you, and he just goes between the second row and the center. So the center's always coming in to jam him, and he's so good he can still run full tilt and then throw that cutout ball to the winger. And next thing you know, they've got overlap and they just run past the side of us. Like, it's just
he's taken another step in his game going up to the Broncos.
Oh, hasn't he?
He's become an absolute beast.
On a pretty sour note, I don't cry too often. Oh, well, I don't cry when I watch sport, but I tell you what, it was pretty damn close. Like, I don't think I felt as sad for someone sporting wise and seeing it than what I did for Ryan Pappenhausen, unfortunately. Broken ankle. He's knew pretty much straight away he was in trouble. His leg looked kind of sideways. So, unfortunately, 3 games back after nearly 500 days on the sideline. Yeah. And he's now back in again. The upside was it isn't a compound fracture. They did report early on that it was a compound fracture, which was pretty scary news, but it wasn't. So he's had a successful surgery, 6 screws and a plate inserted into his ankle, and fingers crossed that all reports are he's in good spirits and there's no thought process of this is too difficult, I can't do this. We'll be back next year. So,
well, I think the lady in front of me at the football was going to turn around and punch me in the head, I reckon, because I got a message from you saying that Happy's broken his ankle, so I relayed that to my father next to me. And she turned around and was like, "What? You can't be serious." And I was like, "Whoa."
It was so. They didn't replay it either, which because it was quite great. Like, you could just see poor Nelson was a little bit lazy in the tackle and just fell across his leg, and then the instant, as soon as he looked at his leg, his foot was sideways, a little bit sideways, and everyone. The emotion around all the other players around him as well. You could just see people like Jerome Hughes would you could see Jerome Hughes was basically in tears, because he's loved by everyone. And God, has he had a wretched run with injuries. The last 3 years, between the constant KOs 2.5, 3 years ago, where everyone decided that we can't stop him, so we're going to throw a swinging arm at him. And then this, so it's unreal. But fingers crossed he comes back next year. Also, not great news, Xavier Coates, who, until he did his injury, was by far our best player. It was the only one that looked even remotely dangerous, and he had to do it by himself, taking hit-ups, 30 out, and then basically just trying to charge his way through. We didn't have a line break until, the 77th minute or something.
Yeah.
And the line break was Tarek Sims.
Yeah.
It's just Lost for words. Oh, I'm not, because I could say a lot worse. But I'm not gonna, because we're definitely a PG podcast. We
Yes.
I was not. I was very loud in the lounge room. Put it that way. Wasn't good. It wasn't good. We had the Penny Panthers and the Warriors. Did anyone get any vision of that one this week?
I saw Penrith putting up a interesting TikTok actually.
That one got apologised for.
Yeah, taking over the up the wars and changing it to up the pars. No shit by them, but you would expect it from them.
They do the shithousery. They are.
Yeah,
It feels very Jerome Luai, doesn't it?
yeah. But when you're that good, I guess you do what you want.
Yeah, really got to not care what anyone else thinks, don't you?
As long as you're
Make
winning
yourself
flags,
public
who
enemy number
cares what you're
one.
doing?
Imagine
Yeah,
if they've got to go back down there next year.
yeah.
But no, clinical Penrith, way too good. Like, it never really looked like it was going to go any other way. I don't think anyone thought it was. Brian Toho doing what Brian Toho does. He had 174 meters, and he's a winger, and he had 63 post contact meters and 13 tackle breaks. Like, it's
He's a
just
slippery boy.
It's just I don't think there's a man on the planet, and I'm talking even front rowers and stuff like that, that 1-on-1 can get a hold of him and just stop him 1-on-1. Like, I don't know how or why, you just can't. Cleary was Cleary does what Cleary does. Like, he's an absolute superstar of the game. Put on a masterclass, had one try assist, two line break assists, 194 meters, 21 tackles, and he only missed 2. So that's not bad from a halfback.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Because they're targeting you a lot. Those big boys are targeting you a lot.
Especially Cleary.
Oh yeah. But clinical, as always. I didn't see it really going any other way or happening any other way. Sharkies and the Roosters. Anyone catch the Sharkies and the Roosters?
Yeah, I saw the second half of this one.
What do you reckon?
Very gutsy from the Roosters.
Massive, isn't
Very
it?
gutsy. Yeah. With no Tedesco for 10 minutes. Manu. Is it Suoli'i?
Yep.
Got injured. They're still injuries, and I think Billy Smith was there for a little while.
Yep. And they were all out at the same time.
Yeah.
So at the same period in the game, they had all those players missing.
Yeah. So for them to do that off the back of the season they've had, which was terrible, it's certainly put them in a good spot.
Yeah, exactly.
But how good Sam Walker?
What it could have been.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it when they dropped. I mean, he wasn't playing fantastically the start of the year, but he's a young half.
He wasn't playing terribly.
Yeah, and it wasn't him. The whole team started off terribly. Like, he wasn't the bloke. You don't drop the kid. You make a statement and you drop a seasoned vet that isn't playing well, not the kid who's. But he's just about been best on every game he's come back and played. Like, he's just an X factor. He's a wow factor. Like, can do anything.
He just backs himself.
Yeah. He looks like he has this just. Maybe he did need it. Maybe it was a rejuvenated confidence.
Yeah, it all could have been a plan.
Could have been, but
they've won the first final, so it's working well.
You've left it late, didn't you? You left it late to decide to bring him back into the side and make their run. It was gutsy from the Roosters, but I don't feel like the Roosters beat the Sharks. I feel like the Sharks lost the game. They beat themselves.
Yeah.
53 missed tackles.
It's almost as bad as the Storm.
And 15 errors. They had 15 errors.
That's a lot in rugby league.
And some of the errors were just proper, like, really poor in bad field position, the whole works. Like, it's the same old thing with the Sharkies, and with everyone and all the experts have been saying it all year. They're really, really good at beating teams they should beat. And then when the gun gets tough, They went out straight sets last year with a double chance, and unfortunately,
again now.
They don't have that. They don't have that X factor. Like Nico Hines is a great player.
He can't do it himself though.
Yeah, he needs, and at the same point, he's not. I wouldn't call him an X factor. As such,
I feel like he's just that consistent player.
Really solid general. He needs someone that like a Reece Walsh or a Ryan Pappenhausen at the time, or a Tommy Turk, like just this X factor where you just give him the ball and like he'll just make something happen. He just doesn't have anyone he can give the ball to, and then it go, oh wow, like look at that, like.
Well, he's got to get it all the way over to Ronaldo.
Yeah, exactly. And Ronaldo is unfortunately pinned on a wing.
Yeah.
Probably something they need to work on. Maybe Ronaldo coming back in through the center a bit more and play him as a bit more of a floating.
Yeah.
But don't know. I'm not too sure. But unfortunately,
times out there.
Sharks are gone. Roosters are in. Roosters play the Storm. Confident we get that one done.
Nice bounce back.
The only problem is then we have to play Penrith.
Yeah, not what you're
really, if we get through. So
yeah.
And the last game were the Knights and the Raiders in an extra time.
Probably the best game of the week.
Oh, it was. It was sick. It was a really good game of rugby. Bit of controversy within the game as well. Poor old Jackie Whiten won't be playing for quite a few weeks, I don't think.
Bit of biting going on.
I've never seen something like as visual as that. Like you see bites and they're like, oh, they bit me. And you can kind of say, like they've put the camera on there. It still had his spit on his arm. It had the teeth marks all indented into his arm and slobber all over it. Like it was.
Yeah. What's interesting is obviously because he's leaving the Raiders. I believe what the Raiders lawyers are just like, man,
your problem,
how many weeks he gets.
Bad luck, big fella.
It's just like, yeah, give him 8. Yeah, maybe give him 10. Why not?
Yeah, they'll go 3, and if you fight at 4, and they go, yeah, we'll fight it, and they don't rock up.
Yeah, it's like, oh, look at that. You got 4 weeks. Bugger.
The disappointing thing is I'm pretty sure that the South's first game is in Las Vegas or something.
Yeah.
So he's going to miss that game because he's not getting off. Like the evidence is so abundantly clear that even
you can't be
speaking to the ref. So they called him over.
Yeah.
How it wasn't an instant send-off either has me stuffed. Like it is clear as day he's bitten someone. You bite someone on the field, you don't play any more of the game. That is you done. Like
yeah, for sure.
He and his response to the ref putting him on report was, I can't move my mouth. He needs to move his arm. So basically admitting to the fact that, I bit him because his arm was in my mouth. It's not a great defense.
That's like someone leaving the chocky chip bickies on the table in front of me. It's like, well, you knew it was going to happen.
Exactly. So I took a munch. It was like, unreal. But all the Night Stars shined. All playing really, really good games. Dominic Young scoring 2. He's been a freak all year. He's off to the Roosters next year, so they'll lose him. And Dane Gagai, rolling back the clock, he had 8 tackle breaks. He looked absolutely brilliant. Actually,
loves a big game, does Gagai.
Oh, doesn't he? He's big game specialist. Absolutely.
Quite a good little comeback as well from halftime. 16-6 down.
Yep. They rallied hard, and Kalen Ponga's just taken leaps and bounds. Unfortunately, copped a whack on the head. Now he kept playing, but it was a pretty solid thump on the head, which ended up being the decider in extra time. Just a silly little play, and they wrapped him high, and he ended up taking the kick and scoring. Greg Marju as well. He's a beast of a winger, isn't he? He played really well.
You could pretty much put him in a multi every week, and he's going to get over.
Oh, yeah. Give it him and Dom Young, really. Like, they're both just so dynamic. Not so great news for their half, Jackson Hastings. It looks like he has re-aggravated an ankle injury. So they're without their half, which will be tough because he's quite a solid player. The Raiders, I mean, Jordan Rapana for him every week puts in, played really well. Had 33 runs for a game, which is massive.
Yeah, not bad.
280 meters, and also had 10 tackle breaks. So he was probably close to the lone real shining light that I saw. Oh, Jamal Fogarty did play well, had the ball on a string for the most part of the game, and then made a really critical error in extra time, kicking it out on the full. So, which gave the Knights good field position, which then ultimately led to the penalty, which scored. So, but Raiders have been in shocking form for the last sort of 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, crazy start to the year too. Like they were terrible to start the year, and then they went on a big winning streak, and then turned to crap again.
Yeah. Which is very typical of the Raiders.
Yeah. I can't say I listened to Sticky's post conference post game press conference. I kind of wish I did because I can imagine he had not too many nice things to say.
Probably not.
Oh, you gotta love him. You gotta love him. He's a character. He's a character in the game, but jeez.
Yeah, you'd certainly be scared having him around. Almost like the UFC at the moment, with obviously Strickland winning. Him behind a mic has to be the scariest things for the UFC to deal with.
Oh, yeah. They're just sitting there going, oh, some of the things. Did you hear some of the things he spoke about?
Yeah, when he was brought up child abuse, and he was like, "Oh, child abuse, how good."
Yeah, he thanked his abusive father for beating the crap out of him as a child.
Have you heard when he talked to a Chinese reporter?
Oh, I can only imagine.
There's a segment, he talks to a Chinese reporter, and they go, "Oh, do you want me to teach you some words?" And he goes, "Oh, like ni hao," like says hello, and then she's like, "Oh, maybe I'll teach you some other words," and then he just goes on a rant on like, "Oh, how do I tell the kids to make the shirts quicker?" Because he's like, if I've got to learn Chinese, I'm going to talk to all my kids in the sweatshop and get them working quicker. And it's just like, oh my God, he's a
man. That's no filter. It's
scary for the UFC.
It is, and he's won as well. So
yeah, so he's currently the face of that division.
He beat the crap out of Israel. That was unreal. But I do love me UFC. I do love me UFC quite a lot. But we won't get into too much more UFC or anything like that.
No, what we will get into, I reckon, is a bit of a quiz.
Oh, Drew.
We'll wake Drew up and we'll get him back involved.
Oh, sorry. We still going, aren't we?
Every week. Don't worry, mate. Next year, we're going to bring you in on the NRL circle, mate. We'll get you really involved.
Can't wait to see all those. Can't wait to see all those touchdowns and.
There's no point watching the Tigers, so you may as well come to the rugby.
Harsh but true.
Harsh but true. Yeah,
harsh but true.
Need you to test your buzzer, mate.
Drew.
What?
Nicholas, could you please test your buzzer?
Yeah, boy. I remember that one being actually my buzzer this time.
Yeah.
I just started using Cobbs' one last time.
This week, I haven't actually gone for a category. I've more just gone a bit of a spread variety of questions. So it could be interesting.
Just going to make us look real silly, isn't it?
I feel silly already.
Going to be a whole lot of awkward silences.
There might be a few that are a little closest to pin, I reckon. But all right, the first one we'll start off with. All right, you ready, boys?
Yeah, here we go. I'm undefeated.
How many times?
Just thought I'd put that in there, boys. Undefeated.
How many time zones are there in Russia?
Wow, this is definitely a divergence from where we usually go, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Nicholas.
I'm going 4.
4. Okay. Drew.
I'm just going to go 1.
1. Do you know how big Russia is?
Yeah, Russia's like the whole top.
This.
Okay, so that point goes to Nicholas.
How many was
There
it?
is there is 11.
11. Wow.
11 time zones in Russia. Well, how many is there in Australia? Probably 4?
Yeah, that's all I went off. I was like, there's 4 in Australia. I was like, oh, that'll do. I know there's at least 4. Yeah, but I'm like, I don't know what distance spans the time zone. That's the problem.
That's all right. We'll move on. How many stripes are there on the American flag?
Drew. 50. Are we talking?
Nicholas, your answer, please.
Should have asked the question.
Not higher. That was last week's buzzer. Yeah, boy. I think it's 44.
Right. Now, I think you boys are thinking of the stars.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be right. Yeah.
How many stars are there? 48?
I have asked how many stripes are on the American flag. You boys have given me 50 and 44.
Is it like 10?
The answer is 13.
Oh.
So,
I mean, I still win.
Nicholas gets.
That's a bit rough.
How many stars are there? Is it? It's because it's a star for every state, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's. Let me do a quick little Google. How many? What's your guess for that, Drew?
I'm gonna stay with 50. I don't know.
I think it's either 44 or 48 or something.
50.
Oh, it's 50.
So there's
Wait for Drew.
Yeah, 50 stars representing the 50 states, and there are 13 stripes representing the 13 original colonies.
Oh, there you go.
How many days does it take for the Earth to orbit the Sun?
Yeah, boy. Why did that take me so
Yeah,
long?
hey?
It's a year, 365.
Well done, sir.
Why did that take so long?
I just had
I was so confused.
Drew was staring in my
Stage.
soul.
Stage fright.
I don't think we're
nerves
ever.
are
I
high.
don't think
I
we're
keep
ever
forgetting
starting.
what buzzer I'm using.
I don't ever think we're starting a trivia team.
No, I don't think so.
I wouldn't be. No, I wouldn't be.
What is the smallest country in the world?
Yeah, boy. Is it Monaco?
No, it's not Monaco.
Oh. Monaco's small, man, because it's only the city.
Monaco, very small.
Yeah, boy.
We'll give Drew a guess, and then you
Is
can
it
have
one of the
another.
Is it like one of the Samoan Islands or something?
No.
Oh, that's really narrowing it down for me.
Yeah.
I've got no idea.
No idea at all. It's in Europe.
Oh, wow, is it?
Yeah.
No.
The Pope
Geography's
lives there.
terrible.
Who lives there?
The Pope.
The Vatican?
Yes, sir.
Wait, is that a country? The Vatican?
Yeah. It is its own country.
It's its own country. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's crazy that it's even a country. I'll have a quick little look for the population for you there. 825.
So it's whoever lives in is Vatican like a building, isn't it? Like a temple?
It's just like a small little place. Right. So that's another one to Nicholas.
I'll let you answer the next one first, Drew.
How's your music knowledge, Drew?
Better than my geography knowledge. But.
Right. What city do the Beatles come from?
What city? It's in England.
Yep, they are a Premier League team.
I know this answer.
Manchester.
Oh, no, sir.
I'll
Nicholas.
let you have a second go.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Well done,
Yay.
Big Dog.
Wee. Well done. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-1.
Good from you, Drewy.
All right.
Get the
Who
ball
is
rolling.
third, fellas, on the all-time list of female tennis Grand Slam champions?
Who is third?
Yeah, third.
Are we talking open era or just because I feel like that's going to change the answer? Drew.
Is it Margaret Court?
Drew.
Third.
Is it Margaret Court?
No.
That would be Steffi Graf.
No.
Venus?
So no, it's not. No.
Not Venus.
Serena.
Yeah.
Oh, serious?
So,
Who's
wait.
above
Yeah.
Serena? I thought she was number one.
Margaret Court's first, but
Oh.
I don't know if that was all in the open eras. So
Well,
who was
second?
Steffi Graf second?
I'm going to go with yes.
No, Serena passed Steffi Graf. No,
I thought Serena was number one.
No, she's one behind Margaret Court. She's got 23. Margaret Court has 24.
So
I thought Steffi Graf had 22.
Well, I have a feeling that was not updated.
Well,
Drew got that one anyway.
Because
I'm assuming that was from the little, maybe a year or two ago, because, yeah, he's correct. Steffi Graf now is third. But he still got it anyway, so that's okay. 14.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, I have no idea who Steffi Graf is.
When was Netflix founded? Now, this is a multiple choice. 1997, 2001, 2009, or 2015?
Drew.
Drew.
I've heard something about this. I think it started a long time ago, but it didn't actually become a streaming service until, like 2013, 2014. I'm going to say 2001.
Nicholas, what's your guess?
I was going to go 2009.
You're both wrong. It was 1997.
There you go.
Knew it was one of the first two.
What country has the highest life expectancy?
Yeah, boy.
Yes.
Is it Japan?
Yeah, close. But no.
Hey? I don't know
Is
what's
it?
close to Japan. It's not China.
No.
Close.
Tokyo?
Isn't that?
Isn't Tokyo like Tokyo City? Isn't Tokyo... Is Tokyo part of Japan?
Yeah, Tokyo is like the main.
Yeah, I didn't know if like Tokyo,
Definitely.
you know how like the city like has it sometimes have it. Oh, right, no, never mind.
Guess from you, Drew.
Near Japan. What? I don't know what's near Japan.
Close to China.
That doesn't help.
Taiwan.
What's near China?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, Cambodia or something. I don't know.
No. Too long. Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
There you go.
Right.
What artist has the most streams on Spotify?
Taylor Swift.
Eminem.
Nope.
Justin Bieber.
Nope.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Yeah, right. Rihanna.
Nope.
We'll get this. Let us keep going at this. We'll go one each. Can we get a clue? Is it new? Is it modern artist or an old artist?
Yeah, I would go modern.
Coldplay.
Modern. No.
Beyonce.
No.
Oh, jeez.
Can we get a male or female? Is it a
Male, and
single artist
you
or
listen
is it
to
a
it a
group?
lot. Yes. Single artist. It's a
Single
male.
artist. Shit.
You listen to him a lot, Nicholas.
Oh, do I?
Yep.
J. Cole.
Nope. Along those lines, though.
Kendrick.
Nope.
Drake.
Yeah.
I was going to get there. I was going to get there.
Right. 5-2. How many elements are in the periodic table?
Oh, I know this. I used to know this.
122.
Nicholas, an answer from you?
I don't know this. If that's I don't know if he's bullshitting or if he actually, if he's just pulled a number out. I thought it was like 42.
Okay, 118.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Rough remember.
5-3. So Drew can't win. Who was the highest paid athlete in 2021?
2021.
Roger Federer.
No.
No.
No one near it.
He wouldn't have even been on the list. In 2021.
Yeah.
How long ago was that? It was 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Wouldn't have been Connor because Connor was back in like 15.
Roger Federer was 9th, Drew.
There you go.
Floyd Mayweather. Did he have that
Nope.
fight that year?
No, he'd been retired.
Yeah, but he was doing those big money fights.
They're exhibitions. They're not that much.
Yeah, they're not that much money.
Is it a basketballer?
No.
No. There you go. Are we going to get it? Is it someone that's abstract?
No. It's pretty clear cut.
Well, now I'm
Okay, so it's
thinking
between two. It's Ronaldo or Messi. But I'm going with Messi.
Neither of those.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Rory McIlroy. I don't know. I'm just throwing out big money.
Is it a footballer?
No.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, now thrown.
180 million.
180 million.
22 million from salary winnings and 158 million from endorsements.
Oh, so it's a fighter. It is Tyson Fury.
Nope.
Oh, really?
Jeez.
Anthony Joshua.
Nope.
Usyk.
Nope. Wrong fighting.
What?
Wrong fighting.
Oh, it's an MMA. It's not Connor. It's Connor. Did he even fight 2021?
Well, he only won 22 million from these winnings, so I would say once.
Here we go. I'm having a look now.
But
That's
150.
I even ruled him out earlier on as well.
$158 million in endorsements.
He's worth nearly $1 billion now. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He had 2 fights and he lost both of them.
Yeah, that's why he only won 22 million.
He never got past the second round.
2020, Drew, Roger Federer was the highest.
I thought he was up there at one point.
He had 100 million in endorsements in 2020, Roger Federer.
Oof.
Yeah.
That is disgusting. And from 2010 to 2019, Floyd Mayweather earned $915 million.
Mental.
That is disgusting.
And he had about 3 finishes in that time.
Yes. But that's all we have time for. Another winter, Nicholas, unfortunately.
Oh, well, someone just, lift their game, do some studying, brain stuff.
I'm glad you studied from that one.
No, I just kept throwing out. I just kept throwing out names until someone tells me no, stop. Give Drew a go. I'm gonna keep saying shit.
Drew gets trivia phrase and he just gets. But it's been a pleasure, fellas.
As
if you
always,
would like to see more of our content, do go over to Instagram, TikTok, all three average golfers. Subscribe on the YouTube. Leave a comment. We'd like to see all your comments. We'll try and reply to all of them. So, yeah, hopefully see you there.